The last piece is keeping your body on track. Now, one of the things that is really going to help you be able to improve the understanding about what's going on in your body is keeping just some small notes. Now, we're not suggesting that you have to write out an extensive journal every single day, but what research is showing when it comes to chronic pain is that the more you can understand about your body, the more you can show your body that the body is making progress, or show your brain that the body is making progress, you can completely change your unique neural pain signature and the neurotransmitters that are firing in your brain. And one of the great ways to do this is to keep a small journal. So one of the things that I suggest for my clients to do is that they just go get a little notebook if they want, and then if they're experiencing pain consistently, let's say I walk up a flight of steps when I go to work, and normally by the 5th step I get a little bit of a catch or a click or a discomfort in my knee. So what I want to do is I just want to note that down. Or let's say by 2 o'clock in the afternoon I'm really noticing my low back or my shoulders or my neck, or I start to get a headache by this time of the day every day. If you keep track and set a baseline and see where you started from, as you start implementing the relief through rolling system into your life, what you're going to be able to notice is that as you start to be able to address it in the moment that it's happening, and then if you can consistently just do a little bit of rolling work 2 or 3 days a week, these numbers or these times are going to change. So instead of having by the 5th step you're feeling that twinge, now maybe it's not until the 9th or the 10th step. Or instead of the 9th or the 10th step, maybe you have to go up the flight of steps 4 or 5 times before you see that change. And what's important about that is that every time your brain sees that, oh wow, this is where I started from, now I'm doing this much better, it allows you to have more mobility within your connective tissues. And then the more mobility you have within your connective tissues, the more your brain, the more movement you're going to have, the more movement you're going to have, the better you're going to get. And that's going to be our snowball for importance. Because when it comes to pain, it can be easy to forget how much pain I was having, and sometimes people think that a 5 out of 10 is a 9 out of a 10, but if they can look back at some of their journaling or some of their notes that they've taken and say, oh wow, I really remember how bad that was, this really isn't so bad, it's a little uncomfortable, that can actually shift you out of a few days to years of pain just by doing that simple connection back into keeping track of your notes and what you got going on with your life. One of the biggest pieces that you can put into play in really being able to improve your movement, your balance and coordination, but more importantly, have a positive impact on decreasing your pain story that the brain is maybe exaggerating, is that we need to start with awareness. Remember, awareness is the healer, and being able to accurately identify what is truly happening in your body versus that amplified story that can happen when the brain starts to get nervous can be the difference between living a more healthy life or a life that's filled with the pain story all the time. So there's some basic awarenesses that we're going to work with our entire Relief Through Rolling curriculum. And the first thing that I want you to try is that before you get ready to do any of the Relief Through Rolling techniques is I want you to just stand. And as you're standing there, I want you to just take an inventory of what it feels like to stand there. Is it effortless and easy? Could you be there for a good 10 or 15 minutes without having to change position? Or is it labored and is it difficult? As you're standing there, can you notice any aches and pains? Are there any parts of your body that are really talking to you with just the mere simple act of standing? What so many people don't realize is that they're constantly shifting and adjusting, trying to do what we call as the uncomfortable dance because they can't just effortlessly stand here. So being able to take just a minute and do an inventory through your body as you're standing could be a huge piece to increasing your ability to manage pain. The next thing that I want you to work with is just sitting. So as you sit there, what is it like to just sit and be in your body? Do you notice any aches and pains anywhere? Maybe they're not aches and pains, but it's just like a tightness feeling, or maybe it's a feeling of you would want to move or you don't want to be in that same position. Notice what positions you want to shift into. All of us have different holding and movement patterns that we go into for our unique bodies, and it's really important to figure out, can I just sit here comfortably without my body and my brain starting to play tug of war with each other? From sitting, one of the things that we really encourage you to do, because this is so important, is what does it feel like to walk? Being able to just walk up and down your living room just a couple of times, or going into your hallway and walk up and down the hallway before you implement the relief through rolling curriculum can really give you a good idea about how easy and well your body is moving. Or maybe if you're struggling and things are starting to get tight and achy, it can let you know, what's the difference between my left side? What's the difference between my right side as I'm walking? Is my lower body moving more easily? Is my upper body moving more easily? All of these things are really going to help clean up your unique neural signature and help you identify when you need to use which parts of the relief through rolling curriculum to have a more healthy, vibrant, and dynamic life. The next motion that we can talk about in regards to the spine is called lateral flexion. So before I would get on the roller to do the back curriculum, I would just bend over to the side, nice and easy, and see what that feels like. Am I getting any catching or pinching? Am I getting any tightness on the opposite side that I'm bending away from? Where is that at? Is it happening in my upper back? Is it happening in my mid or my lower back? Is it happening up in that cervical spine? And then I would bend the other way and compare that and see how do the left sides and the right sides feel compared to each other. The next one that I would want to do would just be forward flexion. This is a great image to see what that spine should be able to do. So as the spine is flexing and going forward, can I feel one side of my back getting more tight than the other as I'm doing that? How much contraction and tension is there in my back as I'm going forward? Am I getting lots of popping, clicking, or any grinding as I'm doing any of that? And then as you do the curriculum, get up and try it again and see if you can notice a difference. The next one is some extension. Now this one you have to be a little careful with for some people. If this is not in your practice or not is something that you can do comfortably or effortlessly, then just be careful with this. But just some slight extension to the back side of the body, some hyperextension in those joints, and just see what does it feel like to go back. As I'm leaning backwards just a little bit, am I getting any catching? Does it feel like I can do this comfortably, or is there a lot of work and stress as I do that? The next one are some of my favorite, which are snow angels. So the snow angels can be a really good indicator on your body in regards to, do you have the freedom within all of the musculature in and around the back, on the front sides, on the back side of that spine, to be able to have my spine and my shoulder girdle to work together comfortably. So as I go through that motion, I just want to compare the left side to the right side and just see, can I feel the back musculature on one side holding on to that tissue more than the other? And what can happen is that maybe after you've had a trauma, or maybe you have a particular hobby or job where you're always twisting and turning the same way, that can have an impact on your ability to do some of these basic motions. And again, the awareness part of this and our awareness exercises are a key element to really improving and increasing your unique brain neural signature on being able to move forward. Frankenstein is another good one for the back. We have to remember that some of the back musculature that is also shoulder musculature comes off of the low back, and it comes around and inserts onto the front side of the shoulder. So as I go through my Frankenstein motion, can one arm go up a little higher than the other? And your back musculature can really have an impact on either allowing or impeding that ability to be able to go through that motion. So I just would want to compare left side to right side and just see how they're feeling different. Can I feel the upper back musculature or the lower back musculature working more significantly than the other? And being able to just see what that's like.